Hey everyone, this is Faisal, certified high performance coach and a lifelong student of philosophy, spirituality, and sciences. Today is challenge day 25 and the challenge topic is success. Can't believe we're on day 25. We're almost done with the 30-day challenge. It's been a great journey for me. And I hope you've gained as much as I have from the process because I've learned a lot and I've developed a lot of skills in the process. I've learned to speak better. I've learned to express myself better. I've learned to organize knowledge in my mind. And I've learned so many ideas from you guys, from your perspective. So once again, I want to thank all of you who have taken the time to like and share the videos. I want to thank all those who have been posting their answers. I want to commend you and honor you for your dedication to your personal development, to making your life better, and to helping others around you make their life better by doing that. Once again, I want to remind you to keep encouraging more people to join us so we can learn more. The topics are getting more complicated and they're getting more interesting. And the more people we get involved, the more we'll learn from the process. Make sure you like and share the video. And let's go to the topic. So today's topic is success. And I have two questions for you. What does success mean to you? And question number two is, based on your definition of success, what do you do on a consistent basis or on a daily basis to increase your level of success? Or what can you do on a consistent basis to increase your level of success? Okay. The first question that I asked, the reason I asked you based that what does success mean to you is because many people think that there's one definition for success and there's one idea of success, and there are some myths surrounding success, and one of the biggest myths is that everybody has to do the same thing that everybody else does. In the West and in the United States and Canada and even in Europe, there's this idea of the American dream. As my favorite comedian George Carlin says, there's a reason it's called the American dream, because you would have to be asleep to believe in it. Well, that's a funny notation, but the whole idea behind American dream, it started around the time when the industrial age came into the United States, where material wealth started rising because of the discovery of oil, and all these corporations and companies started rising, and then the whole idea of people making more and more material wealth came into being. And since then, it's kind of become like a norm in the West, and it has spread throughout the world, this whole idea that for you to be successful, you have to gain a lot of material wealth. And the whole idea goes that if you work hard and you just work at a job or create a business or just keep working hard and keep making money, eventually after 10 years, 20 years, you're going to retire with a lot of money, and then you're going to have a lot of time to spend with your family and friends and all the things that you always wanted to do. Well, this idea has been done to death since then, because we have had a few decades of people trying it out. And here are the challenges with the idea. And I just want to mention, in essence, there's nothing really wrong with the idea itself that you need to gain material wealth. But what it has become into is that people's focus has shifted from a holistic perspective of life to just basically a material aspect of life and a material perspective of life. And if that's what you want to go towards, that's fine. But I'll just explain to you what it has done for people. For most who have gone through this idea of American dream, where they've tried to work for their 10, 20, 30 years of their life in a job or in a business, and they've been consumed by that. They've been so focused by that. They've completely neglected their relationships. They've neglected their health. They've neglected their energy. They've neglected their lifestyle. For an idea that tells you that after 10, 20, 30 years you're gonna retire with well off, and you're gonna be happy. But in the process, you're not happy. For most people, it has been a process of a lot of hard work, which in essence there's nothing really wrong with hard work. There's hard work in everything, but hard work towards things that they don't really want to, for the most part, and in the process, like I mentioned, they lost all those things that were important to them. And many people, when they went through this process, many of them they got sick in the process, and there are so many accounts of people who got sick in the process, and then they realized in their deathbed or getting a terminal disease that they need to make changes, and many of them turn their life around by creating a more holistic perspective of life, by trying to pay attention to their relationships, to their self-time, to their self-care, to being in the present, to living life fully, not just waiting 20, 30 years down the road to actually live your life. So that's the whole idea behind the American dream, and the reason I explained it is because many people get the idea of success from that. And what ends up happening is that we all keep enforcing this idea on each other that when you finish school or high school, you'll go to college, university, you're going to get a job, then in the process get married or get a relationship, and then keep going up and up in that, keep getting promotions in that job or creating a business, and then eventually sometime down the road you'll have enough to basically live a life that's comfortable or joyful. And we all keep doing this, and in my coaching process I've ran into people that I've coached and people that I've talked to consistently, and I've researched this extensively. What I've found is that when people do this, I mean, there's nothing wrong with going and getting a job and creating a business and creating relationships. That's not my problem here. But what ends up happening for these people is that they chose an idea of life based on someone else's definition, based on somebody else's idea of life, because somebody would have had to create this whole idea of American dream. And it might have been something that worked for them, which is fine. But then the whole culture started following the same thing. And now everybody's obsessed with this whole thing that they have to gain material wealth to be happy. And in the process, they do things to be unhappy. So it completely beats the purpose of being happy. So it's quite interesting. And many people haven't thought through this. And when we think about success, even if you think your idea of success is American dream, you can achieve it. Like there's no ends or buts in there. If you work hard enough, if you put enough time and energy into it, you can achieve anything you want. You can become a millionaire, you can become a billionaire if you wanted to. But then it comes with costs. Are you willing to face the consequences of it in the process? Are you willing to lose your health? Are you willing to lose your relationships? Are you willing to lose your experience of life? Are you willing to forget being in the present, to live life for an idea that was given to you? And this is what we have to consider in this. Now, when I started thinking about success, and that was, I'll tell you my definition of success and why I started thinking about success in the way that I do. So when I started thinking about success, the first thing that came to mind was this whole American dream, because that's what everybody was thinking. That, oh, get a job, create a business, buy a house, and get married, and create this, create that, buy this, buy that. But then when I started observing around me, there were people who had achieved that. There were people who had successful businesses. There were people who had successful jobs. But then I started noticing that their behavior, personal behavior towards themselves, their concept of life, how they looked at themselves, how happy they were, how their relationships were. When I started observing how what people had achieved internally within themselves and their relationships are outside of themselves. When you start to observe that, you'll notice that in the process people lose a lot when they go towards an idea, especially this whole American dream idea, that you keep gaining so you can give to your family, to your community, to yourself, to buy all the luxuries, this and that. This idea basically made them forget about themselves. They forgot about happiness. They forgot about peace within themselves. They forgot about love towards their family and friends that they deserve. They forgot about love towards themselves. They forgot about experiencing life. When I started observing this, and then on the other side is that many people say, well, you think that you won't like it, but you haven't made enough, so you don't know what's the process. But when you actually observe people who have made a lot, there are many people who are miserable, even though they've made a lot of material wealth. And then I saw the other side of the coin when I started meeting people who have made a lot of material wealth, but also they created a happy life. They created a balanced life between their relationships and themselves and their life experience. They had enough material wealth, and they also had all the other things, and that became the holistic aspect of life, where it's not, their focus was not just to create a material life for themselves, to create wealth and eventually retire. And the other problem with retiring eventually is that people work 10, 20, 30 years of their life. They think that after they retire, they'll be happy. But they forget that human mind works with habits. They get used to working so much in that job, and many times that's a very many times that's a very meaningless job to them. So what ends up happening is that they get stuck with that habit. Even though they're miserable with that job, they want to go back to it. And many people, there are statistics showing that after they retire, a year after, they start to deteriorate in their health. And the reason for that is because their mind can't conceive anything else outside of what they've been focusing on for so long. But that was a little bit of a detour into that. So when I started thinking about these things in terms of my idea of success, I started thinking, okay, well, there are people who are well off that are miserable. They're following this whole American idea thing, and they're working and they're hardworking, this and that. But let's look at it from a little bit of a different perspective. Then I started looking for people who had created success, not just materially, but they created success internally as well. They were at peace with themselves. They were happy with themselves. They created great relationships, and then they started helping other people in the process. And when I saw this pattern, I realized that it has to start from within. And that's why in the past decade, my quest has been to create that peace within myself, and create that happiness within myself, to create relationships that mean something to me. Because when you have these things, when you have peace within, when you have happiness, when you have relationships that support you, when you live presently in the moment, and when you live life fully, you realize that there is nothing beyond your ability to achieve. You can achieve anything you want. It's just that you have to know who you are. And when I started researching this stuff, when I started contemplating, meditating on this stuff, when I started meeting people who had achieved this, I realized that this is probably by far the most holistic way of looking at success, looking at life in essence. And I've talked several times about service and self-expression and authenticity and this 30-day challenge. And and there's a reason I brought up all those things ahead of success, because you have to consider these things before you even think about success, because much of what we know about life, about success, it's picked up from our environment. We think that whatever we're taught, whatever we see around us that's common, that's what the reality is, and that's what will make us the happiest. But what ends up happening is we start following what people do, and we get to a place, let's say we end up, we start with this whole idea that we need to work and buy a house and make money, blah, 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 have kids, get married. And after 2-3 decades, we sit down, with ourselves, why did I do this? Is it because I really wanted to do this? Or is it because it's somebody else's idea? And many people discover that when they're 50 years old, 60 years old, 7 years old. And I'm not saying that it's too late then, but what I'm saying is that do you really want to spend 20, 30, 40 years of your life creating a life creating a life based on somebody else's idea of life? And we really have to consider this. And that's why when I started thinking about success in my life, and I can tell you the most successful aspect of my life has been to create that peace within myself. And when I created that peace, I was free of the negative thought patterns for the most part. I was free of the fears or the effect of the fears that I had within myself. I was free of negative judgment towards other people. I was free of creating delusional ideas within my life or things that didn't really exist or shouldn't really exist in my life. And when I created that freedom and peace within myself, I started to see my external life started changing. My relationships started changing. My relationships started becoming better. And every other aspect of my life started becoming better. I started finding out what I wanted to do in my life, what my purpose was, what I wanted to go towards. And regardless of how much material wealth I gain in the process, I know who I am and what I'm looking forward to. And by the way, that's my whole concept of success started becoming a very holistic. That means that I do believe that we need material wealth in the world that we live in. I do believe that we need resources to move our purpose forward, to create a more comfortable life for ourselves, to go on vacations, to do the things that we want. But it has to start with a proper foundation. And I've set that foundation for myself for the past 10 years. And that has to start internally. If that doesn't start internally, it doesn't matter how much wealth you gain, how much resources you gain, you'll always be empty. And this is what you see with most people, that they do so many things, but then at the end they feel like they haven't done anything. They keep wanting more to fulfill that emptiness within them, but that thirst never gets quenched. And that was the whole idea of suffering when Buddha talked about this, that it's a thirst. Well, a lot of people think it's desire, but it's actually, the word is thirst, it's tanha. So, and that's the cause of suffering for many people. So then that became the idea of success for me. So then what do I do on a consistent basis to be successful with my idea of success? I'll give you something that I learned in the process, and that's something that I've been implementing the past 2-3 years. And the idea goes that our mind is literally our gold mine. Ideas are free, but most people don't generate ideas. Most people have this idea of working hard, going through jobs, doing labor, and then this whole idea came around of don't work hard, work smart, but most people don't even know what that means. What that actually means is that you actually use your mind to work, not just your physical strength, not just your labor force. Whatever job you're doing, whatever thing you're doing, whatever career you're in, whatever business you're starting, you have to start to generate ideas, creative ideas, not just copy what other people do. Even though it's really beneficial to study everything around you and you can be inspired by other people's ideas, but start thinking about what is unique about you. And we talked about authenticity last time, we talked about self-expression. Whatever is unique about you, that's what's going to generate ideas for you to move forward towards success. And that's what we need to consider. But there is a technique that you can implement in your life towards this. I started thinking about this, and I started writing a journal. And by the way, journaling is one of the best things, because we think that we remember all our ideas and things that we come across on a daily basis, but we don't. Life gets too busy and challenging. That's why I literally have a journal for everything, for my relationships, for my ideas, for my thoughts, for my posts on Facebook, for my videos, for anything that I need to implement in my life. I have a journal where I write down. Whenever I get an idea, I write it down. So what you can do in terms of success is write down 3 to 5 ideas on a daily basis. Generate 3 to sit down with yourself in a quiet room. Generate 3 to 5 ideas on a daily basis that would move you forward towards your definition of success. And you don't have to take my definition of success, and that's why I took you through all those topics such as perception, beliefs, societal norms, and all these topics where you need to understand that you need to create your own idea of what success means to you. To you, it might be just having the best family relationships you can have. To you, it might be going and traveling most of your life. To you, it might be just going on top of a mountain, spending the rest of your life alone. I don't know what your idea of success is, but whatever it is, generate your own idea of success, and sit down every day. Create 3 to 5 ideas that you think will move you towards that idea, towards that concept of success. And when you do that, guess what starts to happen? You're way ahead of most people, because most people don't think on a daily basis what they can do to be successful. What they do think is, oh, I don't have enough money, so I'm not successful. So their focus is only on the negative. Well, they don't think that, okay, how can I generate more money? If that's their idea of success. So when we think about success, there are a few things I want to mention. That when it comes to work, when it comes to businesses, when it comes to what we want to serve with, if you study anybody who has achieved anything tangible, who has loved what they've done in their life, you'll notice this one pattern. They'll always tell you this one thing: make sure you love what you do. And there's a reason behind it, because you're going to spend a lot of time doing what you're going to do. You spend at least 8 to 10, 12, 15 hours a day doing what you're doing. If you don't love what you're doing, then you're not going to want to do it. You're going to give up. You're going to burn out. But if this is part of your passion and purpose, you're going to keep moving forward, regardless of what the challenges are. Another thing behind success is that we have to be patient. Most people start something and they think they have to get the results right away. But it's when you realize how important your life is, when you realize life experiences, what you realize is that we have to honor the journey as much as the destination. We always think about, oh, the result, but we don't honor the journey. What are we learning in the process? How are we experiencing our life in the process? And a lot of times success takes a long time for people, what they achieve. I mean, I'm talking about a decade of me trying to understand what peace is within myself. And I can tell you that that feeling for me is the most successful aspect of me, because it's a lack of burden. And it's a feeling, it's an experience. And at the end of the day, every success is a feeling, because even if you go towards material wealth, it's the feeling that you get from having that material wealth. It's nothing else, really. So that's another aspect of we have to be patient with success, and we have to have this expectancy within ourselves. We have to expect that whatever we think about, it's going to happen. It'll take time, but we need to think, we need to have faith in our ability, and we need to have faith in God and universe that it will come together for us. And when we have this, we move forward with a vision with a faith that's very strong. And what else can we think of in terms of success that we need to pay attention to? Another thing you can pay attention to is your consistency. The more consistent you are with whatever you do, even if you're at a job that you don't like right now, you can start on the side and start working towards whatever you want to do. Do it an hour a day. I didn't start this full time up until very recently. An hour a day, 2 hours a day, but be consistent on a daily basis, because when it is in your mind on a daily basis, when you consistently work towards something, you're gonna want to do it more. But if you put it aside for a week, then it becomes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that idea gets buried under the pile of other challenges and ideas that you have within yourself. So those are some of my thoughts about success, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts about success and what you think success means. And I look forward to learning from you. And I enjoyed doing this video. I look forward to doing the next video. We're almost done with the challenge, but we have some very interesting topics coming up. So keep tuned in and make sure you like and share the video. Make sure you encourage others to join us, and so we can learn more from this process. We can create ideas, strategies, and techniques. So until tomorrow, have a great day. Bye. If you loved or even liked the video or this episode, you can do two things right now. One, you can click on the subscribe tab right here on the screen or in the info area if you can't click on the screen. So you're up to date on all my free training, on all the free training that I send on my YouTube channel on a regular basis. And two, you can click on the Success Indicator tab on the screen or in the info section, so you can get the training, the thorough training that I created for you, that has 10 factors that will determine whether or not you will be successful at anything that you do or want to do. And it will also help you create more success at anything that you want to do in life. So and this will also get you subscribed to my newsletter, so I can send you more of these free training on a regular basis that I don't post on my YouTube channel. So make sure you click on those two buttons or tabs, and make sure you like and share this video. Make sure you post your comments in the comment section below, so we can get more people involved in our community right here. Thank you very much. Have a great day.